Colin, we could kind of just start off looking at a general overview
Yep.
for this week. And this is actually this morning, our weather model, the GFS this morning. Again, our games today, not going to be an issue because they are all domes. And for most of the United States, it's going to be pretty clear other than the Pacific Northwest. It's going to be pretty clear conditions. But we're going to notice something here. So, Colin, what I'm asking you to do is to go forward a little bit.
Yep.
I want you to keep your eye over the northern plains, over the Midwest, and then we see that there is a system developing over Iowa, western Illinois here, and it's going to intensify pretty rapidly. So this is at 0Z or Sunday night. So this is 0Z Monday or actually Sunday night. And we do have a game in Green Bay for Sunday night.
Yep.
So we have the Tennessee Titans traveling to Green Bay for this one, and we see that the circle is orange.
Right. So
we're looking at potentially looking at this as an extreme event. Actually, on our weather table, Colin, if you don't mind navigating to our weather table here real quick.
Yep, I got the game
and
right
if you
up
go down,
for...
oh, you have it up, perfect. Like you read my mind.
Yep.
There's not a
Gotcha,
whole lot of precipitation, right, Colin?
Right. And that's the interesting thing is, like you said, that the weather maps are one type of model, and this is using another source data, and they're a little out of sync, but they're showing that there is potential here. And as you see, it's green on the temperature, the wind, but we're really right, Sean. It's really this precipitation that over the next couple days, or even the next day, I forget, we're already Saturday, is where this could change. This could go to orange.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. And to Colin's point, we use different thresholds for our different models. We're kind of testing testing some things out here on how stringent we want to be with these thresholds. For right now, we're predicting, 200ths of an inch. This is not going to be a ton of precipitation. So I also want to say this is not going to be like a monumental event. However, we are expecting snow for Green Bay. Temperatures are going to start to drop. They're going to start up in the upper 20s and then maybe get down to the mid 20s, maybe even lower 20s by game's end. And so there is going to be snow here. Now, what I did look at when I was looking at the model is there is some mesobanding moving through, which means there's potential for periods of heavier snowfall. So right now we're predicting around 1 to 3 inches, probably around 1 inch for game time. But there may be isolated times where it's a little bit heavier as well. But here's the headline, right? So who cares? We want to know what that means for fantasy.
Yeah.
And the headline is play Aaron Rodgers. Play your Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers and perfect. Again, Colin, you read my mind. These are statistics for Aaron Rodgers in cold weather and some snow. So notice in the cold weather, you see a lot of these green bars, and you notice a lot of them are in the middle, but there's also some to the right. And what that tells us is that he scores quite a few fantasy points, even in cold weather, to the effect of even a 50% bump in his stats, his fantasy point values during cold games. He just thrives in the cold. He's just on. Like, it's just one of those things, the X factor of Aaron Rodgers. We saw this last year against the Giants. It was cold. It was snowing. He just lit up the Giants. I mean, everyone was lighting up the Giants, but especially so in the snow. I would not worry about playing anybody on the Packers. Play Aaron Rodgers. Play Devontae Adams.
But let's go.
You're playing Aaron Jones.
Let's go to the other quarterback, Tannehill.
Tannehill. So we don't have a lot of data with Tannehill. He was a Miami product, right? That's where he started his career under Adam Gase. He didn't play in a ton of cold weather games and a lot of precipitation games, but the evidence that we're seeing is that his upside is capped when we have inclement weather. So right now what we're looking at is these are cold weather games. So this is Ryan Tannehill in cold weather. So you notice the green bars off to more of the left. And what this tells us is that he's scoring pretty much below 20 fantasy points in the data that we have anytime there is cold weather. So his stats are a little bit more skewed to the left. He's not quite doing as well when we have cold weather. And then there's one game, you may say, well, what about the snow? I thought you said it was going to snow. And it is going to snow. And the one game that we do have for Ryan Tannehill where it was cooler and it was snowy was the one against Buffalo in 2013 when he was with the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
And again, different coaching regime, right? This is a high-powered offense now. But still, he really struggled in that game. I think in that game was around 35 degrees. There was around a tenth of an inch of precipitation. There was some wind around 20 miles an hour. So not too far off from what we're going to maybe be seeing here on Sunday. And he only scored 3 fantasy points. 3 fantasy points. Again, I do not expect that for Ryan Tannehill in this game, but I do expect his potential to be capped, especially going against a Green Bay defense that's been on fire against the pass of late. They're a top 10 defense in terms of yards per game for quarterbacks. They're only giving up around 217 yards per game in the air. The only highlight last week when the Panthers were in town was DJ Moore, who had 6 receptions, 131 yards. Everyone else was pretty much shut down. Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, it just wasn't they only scored 16 points altogether anyway. So the highlight here is I'm not super high on Tannehill. I'm not saying don't play him. I just think you need to really cap expectations here. Don't be surprised if he only gets you 20 points. He's not getting you that,
right.
4-touchdown game, 400-yard game against the Green Bay Packers Sunday night. Now, here's the thing. We're expecting Corey Davis to go up against Jair Alexander, shutdown corner for Green Bay. I expect him to shadow him on the right side, and he has been shutting people down. He shut down Robbie Anderson last week, giving up around 7 fantasy points per game. I'm not high on Corey Davis this week. I think he's going to get some targets. I just don't think he's going to get as many receptions. On the other side, I think A.J. Brown going against Kevin King here, I think he could have some big play potential. We saw that with DJ Moore over the top. I think he gets some big plays, and I think that's Ryan Tannehill's really only hope in this game is to go to A.J. Brown and maybe, I'm expecting them to have to come from behind here and get some big plays to A.J. Brown.